Hello class. As you know, I was a sociologist professor in my prime, but I'm a little bit nervous. I haven't been in such a big group in about 6 years, so to bear with me through this one while I satisfy your thirst for knowledge and understanding. Fine, thank you. Okay. We must get going on this presentation. I'm sure the students are very anxious to hear about the individualism and intellectuals, so we will start with that. I have much to do today. I have to read, work on empirical observation, I've been trying to establish sociology as a science, stripping of philosophical association, and all this stuff. Okay, here we go. Yes, absolutely. These individuals feel a great sense of autonomy, and that's just it. They put their reason and ideology above anything and anyone, regardless of the authority that person may have. The whole idea of the individualism is the reason for the divide between the powerful and the individuals. It's simple. If we want to restore peace and prevent the possibility of chaos, then we need to take away this internal division. This present time is truly a great sickness. It really is terrible. No. You see, this is the very problem right there. The confusion with the strict ideal of utilitarianism. This commercialism is just pure stupidity. It really is. All it does is reduce society to nothing but a tool for production and exchange. We need to have superiority and beliefs that reign higher than individuals, because without it, it is impossible to live together. We all see our own way of moral identity, and this is why, when there is an upheaval or unrest, we see it as affecting our human dignity. But don't get me wrong now. I do agree that these current doctrines are quite disorderly. What the economists don't see is that this form of individualism is becoming more rare. Those two thinkers are idealists. They are the ones that established the Declaration of the Rights of Man. This declaration is currently taught in our schools and has even become the basis of our moral doctrine. Kant and Rousseau hope to cease this form of individualism. According to Kant, the more abstract idea of humanity is what determines one's behavior rather than the particular circumstances that one would find themselves in. However, I believe that our actions are considered bad when they are proved by one's social condition, class, or caste interest, because immoral conduct is linked to the ideas of individuality. Rousseau, on the other hand, goes along with my own theory, saying that general will is the basis of social contract. He thinks that the only moral ways of acting are those that are free from individual considerations. These moralists believe that our duty as humans is to disregard everything that concerns us personally. What is important is doing things that we can share with each other. I say it is sacred for the reason that it is connected with mysterious property that removes itself from the common circulation. This whole ethic isn't exactly an ideal form of existence. In actuality, it is the religion that determines the man is a worshipper, and that God and his humanity should be respected. Humans get their dignity from authoritarians that are the same for all of humanity. The dignity is communicated to all humans and allows them to relate to others. So as for my notion of la personne humaine, eventually we will all have made our way to society where the only thing that people have in common is their humanity. The reason for this is because we have come to such a point that there is no one else, other than man himself, that he can come to love and worship. This makes a society coherent and able to function, because the only thing needed is that everyone has the same goals and partakes in the same faith and beliefs. If these goals and ideas come from their own beliefs, then that is fine as well. Well, he's certainly stubborn about it, that's for sure. Kant makes these ethics and laws kind of like a commandment for man to obey without questions. Those are the rules, and that is that. In this situation, it can also be argued that he's been irrational when it comes to ethics of faith and submission. So yes, it may seem exploitative, but the most important thing to note is that the spirit that comes from them judges these doctrines. Kant has also established the ethics of faith, which are also sent to our institutions with socialism. Also, the main reason that these idealists, like Kant and Rousseau, have fought against utilitarianism is because they see it as being incompatible with the necessities of society. But of course, this type of moral individualism can be practiced in different ways. Some would use it for their personal fulfillment, which means that their own morals and ideals are the priority. Some may feel that's a way of hiding their egoism, can be through individualism, and others see it as a way of escaping their duties to society. This may seem as though individuals are exploiting this system of individuality, but that is not the case. What this system is doing is providing a type of intellectualism so that people have freedom of thought. Each individual should be given the right to be able to develop their fullest potential of knowledge without any restraints. By working hand in hand with other individuals, mutual respect is possible. Yes, they can. As long as the authority is rationally grounded, then the two can coexist. But respect for authority is of the utmost importance. What this system is giving people is the autonomy of reason, free inquiry, but the respect for authority. One other point. Society cannot function without some kind of subordination and power. The intention of humans is to make use of all of their human rights. The scientific method has taught them to hold back their own judgments. Naturally, they should not follow along with the masses and the power of authority. No, individualism is the only system of beliefs that can ensure the moral cohesion of society. Although we are made up of a system of multiple beliefs and practices, the support of authority is what binds us together. Our humanity is sacred, as I have said before. The dominance of morality and individuality is what gives it its religious power, rather than simply private aims for each individual. This individual expression of this religion of humanity is really the only type of religion possible. Yes, as we are coming to a more specifically divided roles, each individual becomes focused towards a different goal, and ultimately becomes focused on themselves and their own accomplishments. And so, as a result of their perspective of consciousness is different than their friend who may be working towards a completely different goal or aspect of labor. To stop this advancement of individualism, we would need everyone to be the same, stop differentiating themselves from one another, and to coach them back towards conformity. Why, yes, it did. Christianity allowed individuals to make their own personal convictions, which was what the religious premise was. Christianity taught people to focus on their own moral value of acts and to disregard any other external judgments. The focus of moral life shifted from the external to the internal, and each individual was given autonomy to be the judge of their own actions, that were only accountable to him and to God. Christ then changed religion to have more of a specific premise, one that allowed for free inquiry. If individualism was necessary in the 18th century, then it is only assumed that it must be necessary today. Individualism will always allow for progress. People are not scared to revolt against the rights of an individual because nothing is being done to scare them or instill any sort of discipline. Everyone has their own ideas and belief of existence, and that all becomes important to them is to fulfill their own needs and to maintain a relationship between themselves and their duty. Individuals have become powerful, and those who define themselves defined for the rest of society because they fight for their individualistic rights. The only concern I have is what will happen to this system. To take away the structures of society will inevitably lead society towards the moral anarchy that society is trying hard to avoid. According to this theory, the mistake humanity has made is preserving the individualism of the 18th century, which presents individualism only in its most negative light. Political freedom has become a means of progression rather than a dead end, or final step. This is why I believe that society has been reduced to the chaotic state. Men of my generation recall how great our enthusiasm was when, 20 years ago, we finally saw the fall of the last barrier which restrained our relentlessness. Yes, the most important thing to take from this is that it is necessary for society to learn the ways of liberty and to continue to teach future generations the same way. However, in the future society, we still need to develop new goals past what has already been set and achieved. Moving on from our present difficulties can be attained through reflection of practices and goals that have been used. Today, the urgent task, which must come before all others, is to save our moral patrimony. Once it is secure, we will see that it prospers. Through societal weakness, opponents are stronger. They do not have the faith or generous impulses that this society has, which ultimately leads people to a revolution. Okay, so that about wraps things up for me here. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate the attentiveness I was given today, and I truly enjoyed being able to share my knowledge with you. Thank you for being such good students, except for you down there in the front. I saw you typing away on your phone there. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, thank you all again, and good luck with the rest of your semester.